So it's a little bit fallen out of flavor, but I think LGD can still get a lot of use out of it. Now, how does Terrorblade match up against Slark in terms of power peaks and what they're able to do for their team?
Terrorblade pushes tower and comes online faster. Slark is more, mid game, late game oriented, where you need once you get the Shadow Blade, you're gonna keep looking for pickoffs. So every pickoff you get, you slow down the game, and then it's gonna allow Slark to get bigger and bigger. They're choosing to ban out the Luna.
LGD's turn to ban.
Even though I suggested Luna or TB, but personally I still feel TB is probably a tad better than Luna because it's stronger in terms of sieging early. Luna, you need a lot more items to siege faster. TB, you just need levels, then you metamorphosis, and you're just gonna maul down the towers.
Remaining.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Alliance feel like they can deal with the Terrorblade a little bit better, and they have less resources for the Luna. I mean, Luna brings a lot of burst damage to the table, whereas Terrorblade just kind of throws
I guess so.
energy at you.
The team fight is going to be very good with Luna. They have the boat plus Eclipse plus the lasso. So they initiate whoever gets caught up would most likely die. Because if you look on Alliance roster right now, they don't have a defensive spell to save targets. Apart from the Dark Pact, if you lasso the Slug and he removes the lasso. Apart from that, everything else is just... You get lassoed, you're just gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, there's the blinding light to prevent outside damage, but they're still gonna be taking a little bit from the fire.
Way too much physical spell damage right now for them. So the blinding light will help against like the illusions for sure. Whatever illusion hero they go with the SD, but in the early to mid game, the spell damage would be their main source of damage wise for LGD.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think they're going to be running the Shadow Demon? If Kunkka's going to be that 4, is Shadow Demon going to babysit or just spray Shadow Poison and be a nuisance?
Yeah, he's probably just going to do that to make sure that he helps the safe laner. But regardless, I think if Kunkka is not in the bottom lane, Lone Jude should be able to farm. Like one support alone can't really fully zone LD. I think they need Kunkka to be around bottom lane so they can disrupt, land the torrent, and whatever carry runs in to kill him.
Ooh,
so it's gonna be the PL, still an illusion based hero, and it's gonna allow them to have much more kill potential. If you compare it to TB, TB doesn't have a slow, like a reliable, I mean he has a slow, but it's not as good as the PL slow early. You land and you just run in with your Phantom Rush, so you have much more kill potential in your safe lane. So you are able to dominate the Lone Druid harder. I actually like this over the TB a lot. I can see the reasoning why.
I really like the Phantom Lancer pickup here. I think he's going to be able to go and farm and seem unassuming enough not to demand all of Alliance's resources, but then he's going to come at you, be very, very strong. And that Ember Spirit pickup.
So greedy.
Oh my gosh, yes. Is Alliance going to find enough space around the map to get all these heroes farmed?
I don't know, man. The two supports right now is going to be very, very poor. They are going to somehow have to make the entire map available for their 3 costs. I'm not saying it's impossible, but they have to do a lot of work in terms of, number one, the Ogre has to roam and be successful in the early game to stabilize and make sure that all the costs get farmed. Kotal has to, obviously, first thing, make sure that the Slug gets a good start in the safe lane against the Bat Rider, because sometimes if you leave the Slug alone against Bat too much, the Bat can get too much farm and overpower the Slug, so they need to make sure that that doesn't happen and they get a good laning phase. For LGD, they're looking to just try to, get their Dagger on Bat as soon as possible, and 2 important things, Dagger on Bat and levels on Kunkka. I expect the other heroes to have a good time, the PL and the Timber.
All right, I am very excited to see what this game brings. I mean, as much of an Alliance fan as I am, I'm loving LGD's draft. I think they have the potential to have a really strong laning phase, whereas Alliance, it might just be too greedy.
Yeah, I don't know, but sometimes the greed pays off, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on whether you get away with it or not. Like if you talk about greed in the current meta, if you pick it at the right situation, I would say you get away with it. Picking greedy is okay. It's all about understanding when you can be greedy and when you shouldn't be greedy. And in this game, I'm not 100% sure if it's the right call.
All right, so going forward here, we have got our predictions locked in. I just picked some random stuff because I'm not quite sure what we're going to see here. I think it could go either way. I feel like Alliance are going to have a very boom or bust game. I think they're either going to be showing up, getting kills, getting a great start, or they're just kind of going to fizzle. Is that what you think?
Yeah, it's either they are going to be able to, draw out the game long enough that their 3 costs just overpower LGD, or LGD is going to hit their timing where around, I would say, minute 25, 30, the lineup is the strongest around there. Even minute 20 if the game is good for them, if the early game is smooth. So Alliance has to, live past that stage of the game, go into late game with all their 3 costs farmed. Then they're going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like with an Ember Spirit, you're putting
battle
so much weight
begins.
Yeah,
on.
it's scary. Like it's scary risky to have this hero with Slug plus Lone Druid. Because if you think about these three heroes, each one of them requires a specific amount of farm to be useful. I mean, Ember is the one that you can probably argue that, oh, you don't need that much in the early game. You just need level 7, level 8. You run around, you help your team make space. I expect S4 to do a lot of that because otherwise it's not balanced. Everyone takes up too much space. Someone has to sacrifice.
Now, over here, you mentioned Lone Druid likes to do his little pull thing, and Bulldog will be able to get that off this time.
Yeah, that's well done by him. It's very important that you get the pull. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to farm at a safe distance. And SD Konka, like I mentioned, can easily kill him with a disrupt into Torrent.
Over here in the top lane, we are going to have Zhao 8 just taking a very early point in Mana Leak, flapping back underneath his tower. His health will be fine, but it just shows how aggressive this lane's going to be.
This is so sad for him against Mana Leak. It's one of the the most annoying things, because I'm an offlaner, and that's one of the things that I hate the most when I'm going to the lane against Mana Leak. So right now we see Banana here starting to stack up camps for the Bat Rider. I'm assuming that at one point he's going to have like maybe a few stacks and he's going to go to the off lane and Bat Rider will rotate to the jungle. That's how they're going to get the levels, like I mentioned. The levels on Conquer and the dagger on Bat Rider. Those are the two most important things for them.
Ooh, mid lane, a Torrent will latch. S4 just kind of getting taken for a ride here, taking a lot of harass. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Zhao 8 once again feeling the wrath of some Ogre harass, but nothing he can't deal with. He's actually getting some decent farm as the Bat Rider here.
That's pretty good for him. He got his level 2, so he can easily go to the jungle if he feels like there's no way that he can get levels or farm anymore. And the other thing I want to talk about is like the Conquer. Like it's getting much more popular right now. The position 4, they start with a Windlace and they run around roaming. I noticed in the games especially that Wings played Ice when he was playing the Pudge, he did the same thing as Windlace. And when he was on what's the other game? The Night Stalker game, and he did the same thing. It's getting more and more popular that the supports start out with Windlace roaming around.
Alright, speaking of Roman here, we got our Ogre Magi popping in with the Bloodlust mid lane. Meanwhile, up top, we are going to have the Mana Leak once again. Zhao 8 trying to do some damage to the Cuddle, but won't be successful. Just kind of driving him back. He eats up a Tango. He's going to be completely fine. Loda with 1 point in the Napalm, but...
Yeah, they need the Ogre here to be able to stop the Bat Rider from putting down too much pressure. Because Kotl and Slug right now is not enough to deal with the Bat, so once the Ogre is here, the Bat Rider has to be extremely careful. If he makes a wrong move, he'll die. So right now, he goes into the jungle after noticing that the Ogre has been missing for quite some time. The safest play, and mid lane, my MMY is going to try to set up a Torrent for Kunkka. Is he going to get in range? No.
Yeah, it's going in. He has that disruption leveled up, but S4 is going to be keen on that, not going to be reeling himself too deeply, but there's going to be a nice Observer Ward placed up here, so they now have high ground vision of the Ember Spirit if he wants to go and try to cower under tower, not going to be successful.
He got a sentry into the camp as well that Bulldog was farming previously, so that's going to slow him down. It's very important that they make sure that Alliance don't get a good start with their heroes, because with their greedy heroes, if they get a good start, it's gonna put a lot of pressure on LG that you have to do a lot of things before mid to late game. Otherwise,
You have been denied.
otherwise Alliance would be in an extremely good position because of their greedy cause.
Alright, so just continuing the farm fest here. Ogre roaming around very heavily, but like you mentioned, because the Ogre's roaming, it means there's just a lot less potential for Loda to get kills. And Bat Rider, he's just kind of skipped out here now, farming up that stack you mentioned that Banana was making. And down here in the bottom lane, Lone Druid might be losing his bear here. It's got sub 100 HP, but aggressive does not have the damage to finish that off.
He's doing okay because he got the pull at the level 1 wave, so he's almost close to level 4 right now, and Ogre is rotated all the way down towards the bottom lane to start to pressure the PL. Not sure if it's going to slow down the PL that much, but if the Conquer is not here, yes, they can put a lot of pressure.
Big race for the rune here. S4 is able to snap up the DD rune, taking a lot of harass for Maybe, but if Maybe had gotten that DD rune, it would have been a very ugly situation for the Ember Spirit.
Gold from my chest.
Yeah, Ember didn't have boots there, so if he had gotten the DD rune on the Timber, he would have a pretty good chance of running him down and killing him. Right now, overall, Bat Rider realizes the Ogre is bottom, so he immediately rotates back towards the top lane because he understands that with only 2 heroes on the lane, he's fine to run up and contest the farm of the Slug, which is the right thing to do right now for him.
Mid lane, it's getting a little bloody here. Heroes really wanted to trade harass, but Maybe it's just so survivable there with now 2 points in the reactive armor.
Yeah.
Oh, Bat Rider, you're going deep, son. There's going to be a TP in.
Well done.
Zhao 8 is able to go through, get the first blood on
Spanish gold.
Oh, he's he's just going back in, and he will lose his life for this. He's flying himself away. Oh, the fairy fire down to the low ground. Loda's got the
no.
lead. And this is going to be Xiao Wei just living through this fantastically.
And I thought he was gonna die there. Like he was very, very like confident he was not gonna die. Didn't spend his gold. He was just like, oh, I'm fine. Having the early trankles there with the armor, the extra armor, allowing him to survive that play. Good move by Xiao Wei there, getting the first blood. And this is gonna signal that AGM has to be on the top lane all the time. Otherwise, Bat Rider is just gonna run over this lane. Because Kotal is not a very strong laning support.
Yeah, that means there's just less and less pressure on this PL, who's been doing fantastically now, sitting at the top of the last hit chart.
I don't necessarily think that they have to worry about that too much because they are the team that's running the greedy lineup, right? So you just have to make sure that you don't lose your lanes. You don't have to run to the enemy safe lane and say, oh, I have to slow down his farm. They just need to make sure that their lanes are fine, and that's about it. They have the greedy lineup. When it comes to late game, they're gonna win the game.
Oh, Bulldog, he's just charging in there, maybe hoping his Bear got a little root proc,
Is
but...
he level 5? Oh yeah, he is level 5. He's doing pretty well for himself. 18 last hits, even more than the Bear Rider. The Bear Rider got a kill, so...
Radiant, they're posturing up for something. MMY goes in for the shot from Xiao Wei, spraying out the napalm. This could be a savage ward right there for one
Good
back.
play.
Zip
Good
out
play.
immediately.
Radiant's top tower.
Saving his
is under
ally there,
attack.
or making sure that his ally is able to get out. So right now the game will flow back into a very passive play for Alliance because they are not the team that's going to looking to be aggressive right now. They're just more content in farming, getting levels, getting more items. And LGD is the team that wants to get stuff done and wants to get towards the point where they have level 6 or Conquer and building Combat Rider.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how greedy Alliance's draft is, and now we're almost 7 minutes into the game. Is this the laning phase that Alliance need, or are they going to get starved?
Pretty much, despite giving up that first word, obviously you don't want that to happen, but they're doing the right things. Apart from being too greedy, they were overestimating themselves where they felt, oh, Slug and Kotal is going to be enough to deal with this Bear Rider. We're going to send, oh, bottom lane is good. Bear.
Oh, he goes in. They're going to put the Torrent on the Bear. That's going to be a nice little payday. Oh, with the resummon just in time. Bulldog not giving that one away for free.
Yeah, that was a big gold bounty there if they got that kill there. But like I was saying, Alliance is pretty happy apart from the first blood. So everything is going according to their plan. If you look at the farm on their 3 cost is pretty decent. LGD is having a slight lead because they are less greedy and they are pressuring their lanes with supports running around. So I would say Alliance is content with the situation they are in right now, not being too far behind.
And what do they need to do to really accelerate their power peaks? Just keep farming and don't engage?
Like I said before, the Ember starts to move around, maybe get a kill on top lane.
Yeah, they're going for something there. EGM just totally dealing with these illusions. He's completely fine. Loda, he's got himself that little extra damage coming out his way, but Xiao Wei not really able to find anything coming his way.
Getting so much done on the off lane here.
Oh, but maybe he's invisible. He wants to find something. We'll be able to scout out Loda, but just going to leap back down to the river. Doesn't want to get tangled up in this top lane.
Hope S4 gonna get a bounty rune. Not the most useful rune for the gang.
Deep in, Xiao Wei might be caught here. EGM to follow up. Has that stun disruption coming out just in time though. Loda taking a little bit of damage there from the Shadow Poison. Xiao Wei gonna get slowed down from that Fire Blast coming in. Xiao Wei looks like he will end up eating the dirt. Maybe comes back into the Chakram doing some work. They're looking for something more. There's gonna be another chain of 1 second. EGM goes in, gets that stun coming at you, but it's gonna be the disengage at this point.
Yeah, his build almost saved him there. He had infused raindrop, he has a stick charges there, but still not enough, despite the really good disruption that prevented the damage from Dark Pack on Slug going onto the Bat Rider. It's still going down there. That was a very key kill for Alliance because he's the one that's going to dictate the play for LGD. The blink on the Bat Riders getting slowed down is crucial. X-Mark.
Oh yeah, S4 could be some trouble there. They've got the torrent to follow up, but okay, they're just going to go in and pop out the lasso. S4, he really wants to remnant back. He is able to do so. Oh, he's counting his lucky stars there. He's slow, but he's going to be living through this.
Yeah, having the flame guard there allowed him to survive, blocking majority part of the magical damage there. So good play there by S4, creating a lot of space for his team and not dying as well, knowing his limits there.
Yeah, and that was the first use of the lasso that we saw, so still a minute cooldown left on that, so Alliance can feel a little bit more free to move about, less punish coming at them.
Yeah, that's everything. Every time something like this happens, it's gonna give everyone like maybe a minute or 2 minutes of time to farm. Like you said, lasso down, it's very difficult for LGD to make aggressive play. It gives your whole team a lot of confidence in terms of knowing that you can actually farm right now safely. They're not gonna be doing anything aggressive for Alliance. I feel right now they're just really content in getting
Radiant's
farm,
top
getting
tower is
experience
under
and
attack.
whatnot. Placing wards, making sure that they have vision on the map, and that's about it.
I mean, the dire vision at this point is really good. They've got this cliff forward, making sure there's any ancient stacks scattered out. They're going to have a courier flying on through. They're going in. Ember Spirit might be able to go in. They're looking for the kill onto maybe. He's going to try to TP out and should be able to get away. Do they have enough damage? No.
Oh,
He's just barely alive. They're actually taking to his
MPT.
tier 1 tower rather than
Gosh.
just failing out back to base.
so
But,
greedy. He didn't go back to base.
you know, he wants his
Over
farm.
my chest.
I'm sure he wants his farm.
Alright, meanwhile down bottom, EGM getting some much needed solo XP, finding himself level 5, so not quite at that multicast point just yet, and that's going to make things a little bit more difficult.
Wow, Slot goes for a Midas.
Oh yeah, that's low to greed for you right there.
As if they don't have enough greed and they go for a Midas. I mean, it's like very clear that Alliance thinks that this game we're just gonna go greedy. There's not much they can do with it, and we're gonna be able to pull it off. That's their game plan. And for LGD, once they see the Midas, they're gonna feel a lot more pressure that they have to get stuff rolling for them. The blink has to come soon on Bear Rider, and they need to make a smoke play. They need to force towers, get kills top lane.
Oh, yep, speaking of something, they do have the lockdown there. It's going to be a TP rotation back in. They're going to bring in the Bat Riders, looking for something to fly over. Got the sticky napalm charges going. Loda, though, he's scooting on back. He does get the lasso. Loda, unfortunately, will lose his life here. Wasn't able to buy out anything before he drops, and all those int treads aren't going to save you this time.
That was very good reaction there by Xiaoye coming to assistance of his support. He made, like the support made a very good play, disrupted himself, and he used the purge to remove the flame guard of the Ember Spirit so he could not pursue for the kill. And they were able to get that crucial kill on the slot, punishing his greed, getting the Midas.
Yeah, there's going to be more punish coming down. We are going to have the Torrent to connect onto Bulldog. Aggressive, he's sitting back as punish if they can. The multicast comes out. EGM wants to help his chorus, but Bulldog might just getting too low. The Saboteur comes out, but Banana's still fighting. He's only level 5, just barely below level 6, so no vote for him. They are going to go with the X onto EGM, so he's so tanky, but they might be able to bring in the raw damage it takes to get him down. They bring in Aki, though, going in with that Mana Leak. The Archer gets the Fire Blast as well. Loda leaping forward. The Durst gets off the to start things out. There's the vote coming back in as Punka hits level 6 and run away. Disengage coming out. Loda, oh, he wants to go, and he's got that ultimate form rocking, but is it going to be enough there? He's going to be trying to get out. Ake doing what he can, leap forward, just to make sure he gets as much distance as possible, and it looks like that is going to be the end of the fight. So unfortunately, Alliance not really able to get what they want out of that.
Yeah, and for LGD, they have already gotten S4 waiting in the room. That was so good there. He saw him farming the wave, farming the jungle, and he has blink, so he was expecting the bat to blink down, heading towards his jungle or heading towards the rune to scout things out to see if he can get something good. It's good anticipation there by S4, getting that kill on the Bat Rider.
Yeah, S4 getting close to those travel boots, so going to be able to hop around the map and help out his team in various situations.
LGD has to make moves as soon as possible. They cannot afford to keep waiting.
Lotus sitting at already 1,000 gold on top of his Midas, so he's making up for lost time. I mean, he already has gone down once, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much.
Yeah, I mean, if you leave Slug alone farming, he's gonna farm, like I said, he's gonna farm very quickly. And LGD, they need to pressure towers ASAP. They have to get something, they have to get something in return when Slug is farming.
They're able to go ahead and get bottom tower. They're looking for EGM here. They will be able to go through, get the X Torrent rocking out, and they are going to bring in the Phantom Rush. The Doppelganger comes through. They got the Timbered Chain as well. I mean, this is a very, very dead Ogre Magi. It takes them like 4 heroes, but they secure it. Now they're adding pressure to the tier 2, which they might be able to get down as it seems like there's not going to be a whole lot of reaction.
Just look at the bat as well. He's like off the map, so enemy doesn't know where he is, and he was like setting up at top just in case the Slug decides to push or someone decides to push, and he's already ready there to defend his tower. That's just general very good play. This is what you should do as an initiating hero when your team doesn't need you to push the towers. You're setting up in another lane, and he's gonna go and try to grab Turtle here, but he's out of range.
Well, they have maybe coming back in. The Blink shown off, and well, Mana Leak. So they are going to have Banana coming back in. They will be able to get the X Torrent going through. The Keep for the Light, unfortunately, might be hitting the deck because EGM goes back in. Fire Blast on the Xiaowei, buying some time. So
that was a crucial Fire Blast. He was very close to getting a lasso on
Dire's
Aki.
middle tower is under attack.
lane, maybe. He's getting kind of low there, playing fire, but healing right back up.
Yeah, this is what they should do. Like against Kotal, you have to have heroes run on behind, grab him. Because if you do 5 heroes in front, he's gonna just spam you down.
Well, Bulldog's bear is in some trouble, and he himself might be going down here. Gonna get slowed out. Oh my, they have just got him locked and loaded here. He's gonna be plopping down. Bear bounty not received, but they still get that kill, and that's gonna be going the way of the Bat Rider. So helping out his farm a little bit more, and this is exactly what LGD need to be doing right now.
Keep pressuring, trying to get towers, get crucial pickouts here and there. Because whenever a team tries to split up, like they have 3 cores on all 3 lanes, you need to be able to punish them by catching them. And
Yeah.
for Alliance, if they lose 1 hero and 2 other cores are farming, they're gonna be not too
Radiant's top
sad
tower
about it.
is under
Because
attack.
it's gonna be always the risk, you know, when you're running 3 cores farming 3 lanes, very, very likely that someone's gonna die to a gank.
Meanwhile, Loda's still farming up. I mean, how much time does he need before he's really able to go and start fighting with his
Time.
team?
Shadowblade, I think Shadowblade is gonna allow. I don't think he's gonna fight with his team, but he's gonna try to continue doing what he's doing. Find pick off, try to split push the lanes, and make sure that LGD is not gonna be able to group out together. So even if he gets the Shadowblade, I don't think they'll be too worried about wanting to fight. They're just gonna keep doing what they're doing. Set up the map, push with Kotal. Ogre's just gonna run around like a scout, you know. If he dies to a smoke gang, if he dies to a bad rider lasso, they're gonna be okay with it. That's what they wanna do. Make sure all the lanes are pushed out. Ogre or Kotal just does their thing, defend the towers and scout out for smoke rotations and keep the game going and going so they get more items.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of items there, Bulldog, getting close to that relic, so Radiant's timing going to be coming out relatively soon. Well, if you're LGD right now, who's your highest priority target to shut down?
Huh, that's a very tough question because all their heroes are important. You just need
Xiao Wei goes in. Look at the lasso here onto Bulldog. Shadow points to follow up. They go in the Savage War, forcing everyone back for now. Steering chains come back. And commands for the Root Rocker there. Loda able to get a nice little latch. Banana should be heading back to the grave soon, and that's going to be MMY running for his life through the fire and the flames. He will go down. Aggressive though, coming back in. Leap away from Loda. He needs to get out of this. He doesn't have the ultimate available. Aggressive turns target onto Ake. Ake going to be taking way too many Spirit Lances in, and those Phantom Lances are able to go and clear out the Yeezer, but 2-for-1 trade will still favor Alliance.
Yeah, that is extremely good for Alliance because they are the team running the greedy lineup and getting a team fight victory like that is extremely crucial for them. For LGD there, he just jumped the gun too far away. Like his team was like almost like one screen away. They were unable to follow up from his lasso. So despite it being a really important pick on the lone druid, but his team was just not in position.
Yeah, I mean, is this just LGD getting too much of a green light?
It's like, you know, I said, they are under pressure. They know that they have to do something. They have to get kills, they have to get towers. Otherwise, Alliance with their Midas Lark, with their Tri-Core lineup, they're just going to outscale you in the late game. So they're starting to feel the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to keep finding those pickups. In terms of overall net worth, it is going to be slightly in Alliance's favor now. LGD losing that very early game lead, and overall XP in Alliance's favor pretty heavily, over 5,000.
Yeah. They have the greed, they have the Midas, their heroes farm more efficiently, they farm jungle faster. So if the game stays stagnant, no kills happening, no towers going down, they're going to pull ahead. That's for sure. LGD has to keep the momentum going, they have to keep pressuring, they have to keep trying to place wards. They have very good wards right now. They have vision on the bottom area, like the Ancients area, in front of the tier 2 at the bottom lane.
Lark wants to go through, wants to snap up something, but does just get his paws in the regen, has to leave the bounty,
Yeah.
but he does show off his Shadowblade there, which is kind of important for LG to know.
Yeah, they have to bring sentries. I mean, eventually they need a gem. So if you're playing this kind of lineup and you're running around the map trying to catch heroes, you need a gem to remove vision. Because you have to understand that the enemy doesn't see you before you make the play.
And if enemies not seeing you here, big smoke gank up from Alliance, but they will find absolutely nothing as LGD focusing their attention up top. Securing towers, do you think objective gaming is the way to get at this?
Yeah, they have to keep pressuring. There's no way around it right now for LGD. They need to force the issue. They want to fight, they want to take towers. That's their gameplay right now.
Alright, going back in. Looks like the mid tower might be taken out. And they are able to go
This
through and
was-
cancel the Phantom Lancer's travel boots.
They need like gems soon
Dire's top
against the
tower
Shadowblade and
is
all
under
this vision.
attack.
Like Alliance still doing a very good job putting down all these wards. At the same time, they are farming. So I have to commend them on that right now. So LGD needs to be able to deal with all this vision that Alliance have. Because when the enemy has all this vision, it's very difficult for Bad Rider to move around to make plays.
So we've talked, you know, in draft in the early game about how greedy Alliance's lineup is, and I mean, to keep that train rolling, keep her the light, sitting on brown boots, going straight for the Aghanim Scepter. What do you think of that, man?
I mean, if it's what they are trying to do as a team,
Oh.
they need to keep split pushing. So having that permanent spirit form is really good for deep pushing, and they're gonna scout him up with the ward,
going in. There's going to be a drag back. Ake's going to be in trouble. He's going to pull bunch of that gold. Shocking doing damage, sitting in the fire. He will end up going down. Keeper of the Light going to be the sole pickup so far, but Zhao Wei wants to go in for more. Going to be going back towards the Ancient Pit. Finds that bear low health. There's going to be a poof back to Admiral Bulldog, and it seems like that's going to be the end of the fight, as LGD have realized the brakes need to be applied sometimes.
This is okay for Alliance. Losing, like I said, losing any of the supports is fine, as long as the 3 cores are continuously pushing out all the lanes. This is okay for Alliance. But at some point, you don't want to lose your Kotal, because he's the one that's going to defend the high ground. So that's the only issue about losing Kotal. You don't want to lose him when you're trying to defend the high ground. The outer towers is still fine for them.
Look at S4 right there, just goes in. Zhao Wei TP's back, immediate shackles up, and he's not able to go and really stop anything there. A couple more hits in the tower, save TP out, and now Loda gonna be forced to back away. Again, does have that Shadow Blade almost at the ready if necessary. And
they need True Sight desperately. Look at this vision. Alliance will be able to scout out most of LGD's movement if they are not using a smoke. This is really good vision for Alliance. And if you look at LGD, LGD has very good vision too. They have 2 wards around the top side of the map. They have 1 ward in the middle lane, 1 ward in the bottom lane. They have pretty much the whole jungle of Alliance covered. They're able to see their movements. But the other thing is like getting the lanes pushed. If you have the vision, you need to push out your lanes first before you can make a move.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just what LGD see right now. So they do see Ake farming up in the jungle.
Radiance up. Yeah, Radiance is up. Bulldog has Radiance, so this is gonna even further frustrate LGD in terms of pushing out the lanes. They need Boots of Travel on Timber. Does he have it? Like they need to have that on him. Yeah, like I mentioned, he's gonna build the Lotus Orb first against the Mana Leak. He has another energy booster for that right now. So after that, he needs to get the Boost of Travel to deal with the speed push of Alliance.
Alright, I mean, speaking of True Sight here, we've got Alliance snapping up the first gem of the game. I mean, how effective is that going to be? Is that just for the D-Ward potential?
It's the same purpose for what I mentioned for LGD. Because Alliance, if you want to keep speed pushing, you want to keep moving around the map, you yourself need to make sure that the enemy doesn't have vision when you're doing that, so you want to remove their wards. It's the same case for LGD and Alliance. They both need True Sight right now.
And this bear is just getting completely dunked upon.
Dead. The bear is dead.
So yeah, who's going to score that bounty? I believe that's Timber saw.
Yeah, Timber got it.
Able to go and rake that up. So that's going to be a nice little yummy 300 gold going his way. He's got 13 charges in the Bloodstone, so he's doing all right. Is this where the Timber needs to be?
He needs a lot more items. Like I said, the Lotus, the BOTs, and even a possible hood or pipe for his team. Because if you look at Alliance, they have too much fam if you're trying to push high ground. The Radiance Burn plus the Illuminate from Kotal. So you have to get a pipe to reach the high ground at some point.
Back so soon.
It's either you get a pipe or you somehow kill the Kotal before the fight starts and you remove Illuminate out of the equation.
Alright, so Slark sitting back, gonna be hopping every which way, Shadow Blading up. I mean, he's just been really unchecked. I mean, he was ganked a couple of times in that early laning phase, but for right now, he's just sitting back getting exactly what he wants.
It's too difficult for LGD to like push towers together, set up a kill on Slark, and they need to handle the other lane that either the Bear is pushing with the Radiance or the Ember is split pushing. They don't have heroes as mobile as Alliance right now, so they're struggling to deal with the lanes, but at the same time, I feel they're doing a good job at continuously forcing towers, getting objectives, placing wards. So I don't think they'll be too worried about that, as long as they're getting towers and forcing objectives and getting more items. And eventually, like I said, they need a gem to deal with it.
I mean, is Batrider the natural pickup for the gem? Or?
Maybe the supports can buy it for him. Like, I think you put it on the bat for sure, but maybe the supports can buy for him. It doesn't have to be the bat buying the gem.
I mean, our supports are not exactly the richest here. Shadow Demon saving up a decent chunk of pennies, but looks like he's going to be wanting to go for what appears to be a Glimmer Cape.
Glimmer Cape on SD, it's fine because there's a lot of spell damage on the opposing team.
Loda going in, he wants to make something happen here, but may have bitten off more than he could chew. He's going to hop into his ultimate form, but maybe going to keep up the chase. Looks like he's able to slither on out of there, but Timber Chain to follow up, maybe. I mean, he's in some enemy territory, doesn't want to go too deep.
He just wants to steal some stats from the Timber Saw. Silver Edge at some point is also really good against Timber because you stop him from getting armor from reactive. So that's going to be a pretty good pickup for him some point down the road if he decides that he wants to be able to solo kill the Timber Saw. He has his BKB almost done right now, which is still a very good pickup against all the AoE damage. Firefly damage, the bolt damage, the chakram.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But LGD, they understand that they have to continue this pressure. They need to force towers and keep moving around, and they're expecting Alliance to be rushing right now, immediately smoke themselves up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens here. They are going to scout out that some Alliance heroes are sneaking around. We'll see if Loda wants to jump here, because he could very easily regret that. He's going to be snaking himself away, but under tower they will be able to go through. They get the lasso onto S4. He's got the remnant who wants to hop back, but they just got so much locked that he's able to get away. Just barely slides out from under their nose. There will be a flame break coming out. Can they actually go in onto Bulldog? The Bears will get this out of work. They will get the root clock coming back in. There's a Loda Thorpe showing up. Loda just going in, leading in the damage there. He pops his ultimate form. MMY getting very, very low. He makes illusions of himself there. Immediately cleaned up. No aggressive comes in. He wants to do some damage to the back lines. They've got a chase going on Banana. Looks like he's going to be running away. There will be the Bear laying in the damage onto the Timber Saw. He's going to be getting himself away with the Timber Chains. Meanwhile, under tower, we will have to latch down. Phantom Lance will get the kill onto Keeper of the Light. They're looking for more. Loda is very, very low, but they are able to go through, keep Loda alive, and get down the PL. That's huge. On the back line tonight, we are going to have maybe running away. He's got that Lotus Orb on him. You got to be careful of that. The Timber Chain will be able to secure him at least a little bit more space. And I think he gets away safely here, but that was a very good fight for Alliance.
Yeah, very good decision making. As soon as they saw S4 not dying from the full combo of LGD, they immediately realized that they can turn on it, and they immediately jump back onto them and were able to take that successful team fight there. Like, once LGD drops their combo and they don't kill anyone,
And
the fight is just going to be bad for them. They just didn't have enough they didn't have enough lockdown for the Ember there. Oh, X mark.
Oh, that's going to be huge here. Big rotations in. S4 is going to be caught out on the way. They dropped everything for him. He is able to go through. He buys up before he dies, picks up a Perseverance.
Lincoln Sphere, I guess, which is pretty good versus the X mark and the Lasso. Like I said, they don't have that many disabled that can lock him down. So removing the X mark or the Lincoln Sphere from that equation would be very, very good for Alliance to keep the speed push going, so he can, you know, push much more aggressively, because he understands that it's going to be difficult for them to catch him. So I think it's a very good pickup for the Ember this game.
Alright, so Slark's still sitting there. Still has his 10-second BKB. Loda hasn't had to pop that one just yet. I mean, he's felt very little pressure this game, aside from that last team fight. Hasn't really had any eyes on him at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way Slark wants to be played in a game like this. You don't want the enemy to be able to catch you, and LGD don't have very good heroes of locking down the Slark, so it's very difficult for them to catch him, punish him, and like I said, without the gem, it's even more, like, obviously much more difficult for that. Without the gem, I don't see them being able to lock down and catch the Slark and killing him.
Now 27 minutes and Alliance seem to have found their first of perhaps an unstoppable power peak, and they're rotating through. They're looking to be the aggressors now instead of trying to sit back and be passive.
They're super happy with the game situation right now, the game state.
Is under attack.
Everyone is getting a lot of farm, and LGD is not able to push high ground.
The wraparound here, PL is able to go through and zip-zap his way back to the low ground, so it's going to be Alliance unfortunately finding an unfruitful smoke gank, but still, you can feel their power. They're definitely hitting their spike. Overall net worth is going to be still in their favor by about 2,500.
Yeah, that's a lot of it has to do with the Midas, and the Radiants and their heroes being much more mobile. LGD, if they are able to get a successful initiation and killing one hero away, they can still take a team fight pretty convincingly with their heroes. It's all about the vision, you know. Right now it's the vision game, initiation, pick off, whether they can get it. That's why I'm still quite surprised that they still have not gotten a gem on the Bat Rider.
Yeah, keep checking Bat to make sure he's not pocketing a gem.
They have to get a gem. They have to get a gem. There's no other way around this right now.
Alright, PL going in for that reverse, so is heart really that important to him?
Yeah, so your illusions are much more tanky, so you can speed push. You don't get killed by the Illuminate that easily. Standard item of PL, you want to make your illusions as strong as possible, stat items.
I'll take
But
that.
as the game goes longer, they have really good heroes at dealing with illusions. The Ember Spirit, when you get damage items, you're going to be able to clear out the illusions. So I'm not sure how strong this PL can get in terms of the game going late, because Alliance have very good heroes at dealing with illusions.
I mean, what does LGD's fight look like super, super late? Because, you know, obviously the Timber Saw, the PL can continue to hold on, but...
I think Timber would have to do a lot of work. PL, I'm not sure how much work he can do, because there's, like I said, Alliance have very good heroes and tools to deal with the illusions. So I imagine the Timber has to do a lot more for his team compared to the PL, because PL is going to be limited.
Alright, another group up here. Alliance just going in, clearing up the Radiant jungle. They feel completely in control this game, but, you know, perhaps they get a little too greedy. Perhaps they overstep their boundaries.
They are complete control of the game right now.
Xiao Wei is going to go in, get latched up. He's going to go just try to buy out some time, building himself up. And, well, it looks like Alliance are going to be booking themselves away for now, but I don't think they're really able to go and find anything for this. So just, again, wasting a little bit of LGD's time, forcing a lot of rotations in Alliance. You know, they are going to stay farming as S4 continues to farm up this jungle the entire time.
And you know, you notice that Alliance, after they used the gem, they took a stroll in their jungle and their ancient snow wards. They put the gem back towards the base. I mean, it's a pretty good play.
S4 going back in, maybe gonna pop out that Lotus Orb, just zip away, back to farming. So
And Lesu onto the bear.
I mean, this guy just Savage Roar. They're not even gonna get the bear. They dumped everything for that, and there's just a clean resummon there. He just pops back in.
And you could tell they're getting so desperate. They're getting very, very desperate right now for LGD. The longer the game goes, every minute goes by, LGD gets more stress in terms of the overall game state. Because they're falling further and further behind.
I mean, eventually there's going to be that crucial threshold of Alliance trying to break high ground. What's LGD's high ground defense like? Is it going to be formidable or?
They have pretty good high ground, but if I'm Alliance, I'm not going to be worried about pushing high ground. I just want to keep the game going as long as possible. Keep farming. I'm not going to be like, oh, I have to push high ground by say minute 45 or minute 50 because I scale better than LGD. The longer the game goes, I don't mind. So I don't have to go high ground if I don't see a good opportunity.
Alright, so flying in some goodies there. We are going to have the Lincoln Sphere almost picked up for S4 and the Silver Edge being picked up by Loda. So like you mentioned, just going in and breaking that Timberfell's reactive armor is going to be super crucial.
Because Timber is going to be a very important hero. I think maybe even the most important hero for LGD because in teamfights he's going to output the majority of the damage for his team. If they are able to, you know, gank him, slow him down, disallow him to get more items, then LGD are going to have a lot of problems in teamfights.
Alright, so rotation in. Looks like LGD, they are going full 5-man strat here, really focusing those.
Oh, they have the gem now, finally.
There we go. Unfortunately, if they end up losing the gem here, that'll just be tragic. And Alliance, they're focusing their efforts near the Roshan.
Man, if they lose the gem, I'm playing you. Caster's Curse.
I feel terrible. I don't mean it. Keep that gem. Hold on to it, man. They're going to be smoking down towards. Can they actually take a fight here, though? It's such a big choke point that seems to favor Alliance. I mean, you got things like the Illuminate coming through.
It's nighttime. Kotal doesn't have that
vision.
vision.
Scan. Alliance scan. They realize someone's coming back in. They know the smoke is coming around. They're going to group up. They're going to look to be the aggressors in this fight. They know exactly what's coming at them. They got Bulldog there in that ultimate form. Aggressor going back in. He's going to doppelganger around. They get Bulldog trapped up. The Savage Roar coming out. The Root Proc doing some serious work. There's going to be an expert connecting us to the smoke coming in. Hunka trying to hit Bulldog. Will be hit in the deck. And that's going to be a different as well. He'll be taking a multi-cast at the end of the Ocean Eye over at Magi anyway.
Oh, Loda.
He's going to be stuck up. He's got the BKB keeping him safe for now. He's going to be hopping in. The ultimate form still riding through. He's going to just TP away, leave the rest of his team for dead. And I mean, that's going to be essentially what happens there. He will get away. S4 is able to zip away, but LGD showing some signs of life, man.
Yeah, they got a very, very good initiation there. They got a perfect plan, even though Alliance sort of saw it coming with the scan. So I'm not sure why they weren't. I don't think they were positioned well enough to take that fight. And once the initiation went off, they got Bulldog. The boat came in, and they lost him right at the get-go. The fight was just basically over for Alliance. Yeah, I was surprised they were able to get such a good initiation because Alliance knew they were coming.
I mean, it seemed like Bulldog was just waiting for it out. Now S4 is going to be going in, using that Flight of Fifth to dodge out the extra point combo. And now we are going to see on the back lines, Loda coming back out. He's ready to fight. He's chomping at the bit. We are going to see the rest of LGD retreating, not wanting to overstay their welcome.
Yeah. Still pretty good for LGD. The next objective for them would be to be able to secure the Roshan before they go for the high ground push. So if they can get that going for them, that would be extremely good for them. They have BKB coming up next for the Bat Rider, so he's absolutely foregoing the Force Staff, which is very, very rare when you're playing Bat Rider. Mostly you would say Blink plus Force Staff is your bread and butter. You need to have those two items, but recently players have been choosing to go for use more than Force Staff. I've noticed. Like, it's not an essential item anymore on that.
Alright, going back in, we've got a big smoke gank up as Alliance just really want to get this Roshan down. I'm surprised, we're 30 minutes in and no one's touched the Rosh.
This is very, very crucial for Alliance because LGD needs the Aegis to end the game or to at least get one set of racks. So if Alliance takes the Roshan, it's going to put LGD in a very bad position.
I mean, LGD have got to know something's going on, but they don't really want to
Do
fight
they,
eventually.
do they know? Oh yeah, they're picking. Okay, he's
Yeah,
drawing.
they're drawn, they're doodling. And they're going to group up here. It's
too
going to
late.
be a little too late.
Mortality.
That is crucial for Alliance. That was a very big play. Getting the Roshan here. And LGD trying to look for a pickoff here, but not going to be successful.
Oh, Loda is going to go in. He immediately gets the latch on, but the Timber Chain away means that Timbersaw will live to see another day. But Loda going in. Oh man, they got that illusion. And recall back in. Looks like maybe Alliance are trying to make some plays here. They're going to group up all their heroes and maybe just charge down looking for a tier 2.
They have the Aegis, but I mean, they can do that or they can just keep farming. If they continue farming, it's like the lower risk play. And like I said, time and time again, they are the team that has a better scaling, so they are in no hurry to try and make a move or make a play. And you can see they are once again spreading the map. There are heroes across the map. As for bottom lane, we have heroes farming jungle, we have heroes farming mid, we have heroes farming top. And that linkers is just so difficult for Bad Rider to initiate onto the Amber.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go for that, use the Yules to pop it and then go for the lasso, but quick fingers there from Escort.
I mean,
it will be.
even if he hasn't got the Lincolns and you need to bring lasso Amber that is always ready to jump away, it's already very difficult. So putting the Lincolns on top, I feel like it's close to impossible to catch the Amber.
Well, we've got a wad of Alliance here. The smoke gank up from LGD.
They're trying to flank them. They have to... who has the Aegis? Oslak has the Aegis, so they have to kill someone that doesn't have the Aegis. Preferably the Lone Druid, because he deals a lot of damage right now for his team.
Yeah, look at him rip apart that structure. That bear doing some serious work now with the completed Mjolnir
Oh,
coming
the
in.
flank. Stay time, they see them.
They're looking to drag up. Yeah, wait, the lockdown on the Akin and follow up. Aggressive though, taking some serious damage. It's going to get disrupted up. One help for now. Load popping into BKB. The boat flying through. Not going to do any work there. The bear still up, still fighting. Taking out the kill. Illusion meanwhile maybe. Looking for something EG up, taking a lot of damage from Chakram. On the back line here, we are going to have MMY still up, still fighting, but maybe goes through. Is able to get a double kill streak, picking up 2 Alliance heroes. But they're going to be going down. Loda's still holding on to the Aegis. Aggressive is still up, still fighting. Savage 4 buying some time for Alliance. If they want to get out, they can. Loda popping into the Silver Edge form, but S4 kind of left to his own devices there. He's going to be super sticky, super slow. He doesn't have a weapon to use. He's just going to be chased down.
He did?
I think he did. There's not much he can do. Goes for the fight of fist. Maybe trying to fight with his last breath.
Dead.
It looks like he's
Oh my god.
away.
That was absolutely huge for LGD getting the Ember there. Losing the 2 supports, okay, maybe they are fine with that, but losing the Ember was very bad for Alliance. I think he was just a bit too cocky there. He thought like there's no way they can chase him and get the kill, and he turned back to help his teammate, and he paid the price for it. Might be forced to use his buyback here.
Yeah, we talked about how much work the Timbersaw needs to be doing in these later game fights, and he's definitely pulling his weight right
crushing the team fights. Like they can't focus him down fast enough, and he's living. Like the longer the fight goes, the more damage he's gonna do.
Going back in, Bulldog having none of this high ground push, but it's gonna have to be Alliance, do or die. They're going in. The high ground's about to be busted up. Illuminate coming out aggressive though. He's gonna get broken. He's gonna go into doppelganger form, and I don't think they're able to apply any more damage to that. Torrent coming back in. Loda lifted into the air. There's gonna be zip zaps every which way, but it seems like LGD just go in. They got exactly what they want, and they back out cleanly.
Yeah, the other thing that I don't think I talk about is when it comes to late game, SD will become like sort of another core with the disruption. So that's something that we have to look out as well. But then again, Alliance is very good at killing the illusion, so maybe it wouldn't matter that much.
Alright, so maybe gonna be going for the Aghanim Scepter to get double Chakram. What do you think of that?
I think it's great this game because he has to do the brunt force of the damage for his team. He has to do a lot of damage. So if he doesn't do this build, I think his team would not have enough damage. So it's a pretty good build this game. Probably the best build considering the situation they're in.
Lone Druid now flying in some goodies for himself, picking up the rest of that Assault Cuirass. He's got enough for the Hyperstone if he wants to go flap the courier out and get that done. Looks like
he might need to get BKB on his bear though. Like the bear is getting destroyed by the Timber in the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we talked about in draft. Is this LGD just kind of reading the weaknesses of Alliance and capitalizing on them completely?
Partly it's understanding what their own lineup can do as well, and itemizing accordingly against what the enemy has. But I feel like overall, if I think about it more, maybe the Shadow Demon disruption can be a turning point in the late game. Like it's something that they have to push out the lanes. So it might be useful for them, even though Alliance have 3 cores, but their supports are still really strong. SD and the Kunkka can do a lot.
SD and Kunkka both go for the Ghost Scepter, definitely wanting to dodge out a lot of the physical damage Alliance is
Time to
putting
get
out.
diffusal blades from anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Phantom Lancer's got one, but
But Alliance needs they need the diffusal against the Ghost Scepter.
I mean, who's
But
likely to pick that up? Can Ember Spirit
No
really
one.
waste a slot on that?
no one can buy it. I think. I'm not sure if the slot wants to get it. I don't think it's a good pickup for the hero. So I don't know. Maybe they just have to live with it that they can't really get a diffusal and get their cost.
Oh, Loda going in, showing himself right up to the Phantom Lancer, and we'll be able to leap away, but that was a little bit risky there. Loda likes to play with fire, and they're going to be going in, looking for the chase. They are able to ping out aggressive, and now they look like they want to go into Xiao Wei. They're going to bring the bear in, trying to bait something out. The X goes in, Torrent to follow up, but that is a tanky bear. Now with the Assault Cuirass going in, they're going to start the fight this way, using the bear to bait. Now MMY going back, he needs to be in his stuff. Loda going to get dragged away. He's got the BKB rolling, but it seems like he's still in a bit of trouble in the backline. Ake going to get focused down by the CL. He will be the first to fall in this engagement. They're looking for more here. Loda, he's fighting with his last breath here. He's going to be invised up. He's got his ult rolling with the flame break going back in. They bring the Timber Train in. Everyone from LGD is here, still doing damage. They're all still up. They're all still fighting. S4 goes in and gets a nice series chains off, but there's not much he can do about this. They will end up perhaps forcing the Kunkka back. He's going to earn himself back up positively. And now S4 going to be looking for more. We'll get the series chains off. Banana's going to go into Glimmercape form. They will be able to pop up disruption. Looking for something more. Loda, he's still back up. He wants to go in aggressive though. He's wandering around looking for the kill onto S4. They do have the lockdown coming in. Maybe he's doing so much work. We'll be able to get the kill on the Ogre Magi. Xiao Wei is going to get lasted rooted in place. He's going to be able to go down to the line.
Did they just lost the game?
But yes, it looks like this is going to be it. As maybe he's still alive. He's still doing so much work there that Aghanim is crucial for his survival. He's just going to be charging on up. We'll have the Timber Train's away to safety, but S4 gonna have to remnant back to base.
God.
They can't finish off anyone. Batrider was the only casualty for LGD.
Yeah, but can they hold the Rex? Slug bought out for that fight. He died twice.
That was a dieback on Slug.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my.
bought out and he died.
Oh, Loda.
That was really bad for Alliance. And
Dire's
Ember
middle
really
tower
needs to get
is
more
under
items. They are not dealing enough damage with the Ember to clear out the illusions. He needs to get his Daedalus ASAP.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the game-deciding fight as we are going to see S4 looking for one big stand goes in. Nice double chains up. MMY going to Glimmer Cape himself to safety. And the Illuminate only catching out onto aggressive. And again, with the heart, he's so
I mean, that
fancy.
slug death could be very, very bad if they didn't have Koto. Like, Koto is just holding LGD back right now. They can't push the high ground. They can't get the racks.
I mean, S4 is still doing some decent work in terms of wave clear.
He needs
I mean,
more damage right now. Like,
yeah.
he definitely needs more damage because of the build that he went for. I think Lincoln is really good, but it gives him a lot less damage, so they need to be able to get one damage item on the Ember. Clear out the illusions right away. They're having trouble dealing with the illusions. As a result, Slug has gotten a Maelstrom to deal with the illusions. So with the Slug dying in team fights, they need another hero to be able to take out the illusions, and Lone Druid doesn't necessarily take out, like, he doesn't clear illusions very well if the bear is always constantly focused and brought down.
Yeah, so obviously LGD are doing a fantastic job reading into Alliance and responding and applying that pressure, and that team fight was awesome. But like you mentioned, ultra late game Alliance heroes just outscale LGD. When are we going to reach that threshold?
Well, forcing them to buy back is going to push the timing like way back. Before this, maybe I would say around 45 to 50 to the hour mark would be the timing where Alliance is extremely strong, but because they are forced to use buybacks, then it puts it further behind. And right now LGD forcing the high ground with the PL here.
Dire's middle tower
I think the
has
tier 3
fallen.
tower, one step at a time against the Koto Blast.
Yeah, that's a big step. That's the high ground cracked for the first time, and now
Dire's middle
S4
barracks
trying to do what he can, typical Alliance style, going in and making some room for himself. But the high ground is about to get seized. Aggressive is still up, still feeling very tanky going in, applying some pressure to Bear, and are they going to torrent up? Bear is fresh out of that. I can't really do anything. S4 hops back into the fight. They are going to go through, get the blinding light onto maybe. Oh, this Bear getting super low. Spirit Lance not able to finish the job. They're just going to go and bust everything to get that illusion.
Where is his item? He spent all his gold. He needs his MKB. Oh dear.
On Druid?
No, Ember didn't get his item in on time. They lost the range rest.
This is really unfortunate. It looks like maybe Alliance are going to be fighting a couple of racks down. Everyone's going back on in. It looks like for now LGD are going to back off, but just going to be popping out some more illusions courtesy of Shadow Demon, and they're going to be slow sieging this up. Alliance All they have to do is react now. Alliance aren't going to attack the push, aren't going to attack what they want. Oh, that runner goes in. The BKB is going to grab on Espo, going to keep this up. Loda's got his BKB running, but look, he's taking so much damage. Going in, barely laying a finger onto any of the LGD heroes. He's going to be walking around looking, keeping his head cut off, looking for something. Meanwhile, maybe TPing around or rotating around and doing whatever he can. Aggressive, still up and showing so much control in this fight. Those chakrams are just cutting down.
Look at what they're doing, and they're using the chakra on the Ember Spirit so he gets the double slide. That's gonna be very, very annoying in late game when Ember gets a lot of damage. Good luck pushing high ground against that.
Well, either way, we are gonna have a TP back in. Maybe gonna be going 1v1 versus S4. If S4 wants nothing to do with that, slipping back home, and now he has his MKB. That's pretty nice.
Against all the Radiance burn and everything else, it's extremely crucial for them.
Yeah, and it looks like PL is gonna be going and finishing up that butterfly as well.
The Lone Druid Bear probably needs MKB as well, I'm thinking. I know I mentioned BKB, but I guess both are equally as important.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting back. You can always sell that orb of venom if you want to grab his next item. 3k gold sitting in Lone Druid's bank, so certainly enough to start moving towards that item.
melee rack.
Oh, they want to keep these alive so much. But just look at the chakra damage coming out. They will end up falling. And that's going to be a full
45
lane of
minutes
supers.
into the game, finally they got a set of racks for LGD.
Is that the timing LGD need to have, or did they need to have done this earlier?
They probably expected it to be earlier, but right now, judging by the state of the game, because they are ahead in terms of net worth on their cores, because they were able to force the buybacks, it's fine for them. So the next objective is to get the Roshan and go for the second set of racks.
Yeah, I mean, LGD obviously feeling fantastic. Their overall net worth lead is going to be tipping in favor of 10,000 right now, but Alliance can definitely still hold on. They're still getting a good amount of push. S4 really keeping control of this top lane. Do you think Alliance have bought themselves enough time to be able to go through and push this ultra late, or have LGD secured enough of an advantage?
They're not in a very good position anymore right now. They have to be able to hold the next push without losing too many heroes. They might have to use buybacks for that. Slark won't have his buyback for another minute and he doesn't have enough gold. So the only people that have buyback right now is Lone Druid. Is he the only one? Yeah. He's the only one that has buyback. And Koto is like 200 shots. So Lone Druid will be the only one to buyback, and they chose not to have buyback on S4 because like I said, they need more damage on the Ember. So he uses up his gold, he got a Crystallis. That's going to help him do more damage in the team fights to be able to clear illusions. So this is going to be one of the final fights for LGD. They have to be able to win the game around this time.
Shall wait. Oh, he's itching for something. He wants to go in. So a little bit searing changed up, goes in immediate Yule to try to buy himself some time, but Loda coming back in, immediate pop out. EGM getting so low, forced up, slapped down. There's no buyback in the over match. This is huge, aggressive, going deep into the dire territory. Really wanted to get this done, but Loda's able to go through, clean up a lot of the illusions. The pair's still up, still fighting, has some maelstrom on.
They need to chakra S4 so he has the double slide to clear out the creep wave. They need to give him the cooldown, cooldown reduction.
Alright, tense moment here. LGD deciding when to go in and rip off the band-aid and try to assert this game firmly in their hands. Now they're going to be going in, double chalking going in, just finding so much space. This tower completely crumbled. Aggressive still going in, laying in the damage on the road, is going to leap away.
They have double spike now. They have double spike.
They get the bat lasso off. Admiral Bulldog in some serious trouble. There's not much he can do. Bear goes to damage for the pro connect. That's going to be a big chunk of damage. S4 crumbling. Is able to go through, get himself away, but the X marks the spot. Does lash, immediate second record out. But aggressive, look what he able to do to keep her the light. It's going to get mana leaked in place. Has to sit there and take the stun. But are they even able to follow up? He's just so tanky. Maybe it's going to be Timber taking down to low ground. They aren't able to find anything out of this. They get the series change, but it looks like Alliance aren't able to find any return kills. Timbersaw gets low, but there's no follow-up from Alliance.
So the X mark, and he's going to TP back.
Oh, they're going to bring him back into the fight aggressive. Buying some time for it. Not going to latch, but it looks like once again, yeah, PL hopping in. He's ready to start this once again.
This is like what I said during the draft. Late game, they have this X mark to keep the push going. Call goes back, X mark comes back to base, comes back to the fight.
Going back in. Now Loda's able to land decent amount of damage on maybe, courtesy of EGM's stun to start things off, but the racks are still getting chipped down. I mean, the illusion's doing some serious work, and look at those double chocums go. Aggressive is going to be hopping back, using that doppelganger, and the searing chains to keep everything in control. It's a very stalled out fight right now.
The double slide is just literally the only thing that's keeping them in the game right now, preventing the push from coming in. That is actually so good for them in terms of high ground defense.
Now, with a brief moment of air, S4 is just going to TP, laying in some pressure to this top lane, but he might have to look
Yes,
right on
Takaka?
that. Yeah, he does not have time to go through and get this done. They're going to be chopping down. They already lose a range rack. So look at melee here. Look at aggressive go.
What is he
Blinding
doing?
light, barely doing anything. They're trying the wrap, but it's not going to work. Ogre goes down. No buyback. Ake, he forces himself through. He's going to be ghost stepping himself up, but Loda, look at the damage coming out. Just illusion. Maybe he's laying in. He puts chocolates on the stairs. They're barely able to get up to their own high ground. Finally, the Ember Spirit does come back, but it seemed like that was just a big loss. They're able to go
Why
through.
did he leave his team? His team needed him so badly
I
there.
think back to tier 3, but Loda, he's going to be going down. They pop the Saboteur, they're looking for something else. Loda talking around. He's got the ultimate. Yeah, wait. Getting very, very low. Goes in with that dual step to try to find himself some time. But look at Loda. He's going to get controlled up. Even with the BKB, he's going to be going down here. He does that 5 and immediate back in tight. The boat comes through. Doesn't have to anywhere, but Ake, he's looking for something here. The Ghost Step, not going to be able to save him this time. He just flops it up, flops down. There's going to be no buyback on the Keeper of the Light. This could be the end of the game. Xiaowei getting very, very low. Will he live? Hey, he's alive. Nice.
Oh my god.
Kunkka ends up falling so they get something for their troubles, but it's...
They got the top racks?
Yeah,
With the creeps?
Yeah, the creeps are doing it. I mean, S4, he's definitely a master at applying that rat pressure, but...
But they still lost their own racks, so
Yeah,
I mean,
they
it's-
lost
at
two
the end
lanes
of
of
the day,
racks.
it's more like even trade, but Slug was forced to buy back.
Yeah.
And Lone also bought back for the previous fight. They used 2 buybacks.
Oh, they're looking for the chase, not too aggressive. This could be a big kill if they can get it. Lotus Silver edged up.
He has A game. He has A game.
They're looking for something there. They will be able to pop the Aegis. Can they actually go through and keep the control up? And he's going to have Doppelganger, he's going to have Spirit Lance. They are going to bring the Timber Saw. Maybe. Oh, look at that damage going in. Loda does not have buyback. If he goes down here, that's going to be crucial. They are able to go through to get the kill onto Phantom Lancer. 100 seconds down. He does have buyback if necessary. Leap away. It's going to be running out for the Ember Spirit. They do get the drag off. Xiaowei pulling up EPM. I think they can afford to move the Ogre here. But they're not going to have much of a choice. So in the end, Alliance go in. They force the Aegis and a second death on the PL. Is that enough for it to be worth it?
Well, I still feel like they are taking a bad trade by using.
S4 is going in. Is going to get called back. Okay. Ake was like,
I mean, I still feel overall Alliance took a bad trade there. They used 2 buybacks. They traded 1-for-1 set of racks. So, I think if you look at the big picture, you having to use your buyback in a situation like this is very detrimental of your chances to come back into the game. So, if you look at LGD, they have pretty much. But everyone having buyback right now. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 heroes have buyback on LGD. Sorry, 3 heroes. All their costs. So I mean that's good enough for LGD.
yeah, I mean, looking at the overall status of the game, it seems like Alliance are definitely playing from the defensive. They aren't able to go through and start with those kills. Slark hasn't really snowballed this game. He's 3-4-4.
The buyback. When he was forced to buy back twice, then his whole game like crumbled. He had a really good first around 30 minutes of the game, but after that when he was forced to use his buybacks, the whole game just come crashing down on him.
So, I mean, LGD, they're clearly going to be going in, focusing this final lane of racks. Do you think Alliance can hold up against Megas?
It's gonna be very difficult right now because they don't have enough items on the Slug and the Ember.
Oh,
And
that's 4. He's ratting it out. He gets that tier 2 tower
I
down
mean,
bottom.
Ember is not the best hero to rat.
He's trying his damnedest, and it looks like he's having some decent success. I mean, he got a full lane of rack.
You know, in my opinion, if they're doing this, the Lone Druid should be here and the Ember should be in the base. So Lone Druid pushes the tower and Ember defends with the double slide from the chakra. So I'm not sure if this is. I mean, I can understand what they're doing, but they don't have the right heroes to do it. Ember should be defending base and Lone Druid should be pushing the tower.
I mean, they do have lots of resources to get S4 back if things go south. He can Remnant, he can boot the travel himself, and they do also have
I mean,
the
it's
callback.
the same with the Lone Druid. Your hero is in a safe spot. You just need your bear up front and they can always recall the hero. And at most, you lose your bear.
And
So,
his bear has picked up that MKB like you were talking about, so is he needed up against the PL, up against that?
yeah, he needs
Atlas?
BKB after MKB as well to be able to stand and keep right-clicking in the team fights. So, still has to be able to get to that last item on the Spirit Bear to be able to keep outputting damage in team fights.
Looks like we could have some sort of last stand coming in. Maybe he's going to scout himself up, some yummy dire heroes, and well, just going in, keeping the wave pushed out. I mean, we've got S4 now working his magic down bottom, but he's going up against super creeps. It's a little bit more difficult for him to just slice through it like butter.
The SD has Aghanims?
Yeah,
I didn't
he
notice
does.
that. So it's, I mean, it's not gonna be. Is he gonna remove anything crucial? You break any crucial passive? I guess just the Slug passive. but it's not gonna
Call
change.
back coming in. It looks like there is going to be a smoke gank. Alliance looking to be the aggressor this fight. They go in. EGM reveals himself. That way, BKB is looking for something. Gets the drag off onto EGM. Drags himself off onto the aggressive. He wants to go in, but maybe puts a lot of damage here. The Timbersaw getting kind of low, but he's just so tanky. Now on the backslash, you have the poke going in. Loda, he's still up. He's still fighting. There's just so many LGD heroes all around the board. They get the torn up onto S4. He's going to run himself away to buy himself some time. Loda getting low here. His ultimate ends as the Timber chain back on through. Can he actually get through this banana? One more hit. He's out of there. No more Kunkka in this fight. Admiral Bulldog, he's still looking to do something. The bear is back in the fight. Maybe he's going to get stunned down. Can they get the kill? The suicide comes out. That's going to be a nice use of the Bloodstone there from the Timbersaw, but it seems like Alliance, they bought themselves a little time, but look at Timbersaw respawning in 5 seconds. I don't know if that's really enough.
And he wished he still had his Lotus Orb there. He got owned by that Mana Leak. He swapped his Lotus Orb out for Dagon. I mean, he wants to do more damage, but at the same time, it leaves him very vulnerable to the Mana Leak.
Right, Alliance, they're looking for something else. Lotus still in that Silver Edge form, wants to get the jump here onto Xiao Wei, but Xiao Wei, no, something's up again. Still sitting on that Gem of Truth.
Oh, he has no TP on the Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He's just sitting there thinking back to his childhood memories, contemplating the meaning of life, and, well, he hits the deck.
Oh, he has no
buyback.
buyback. Oh, can they actually force anything right now?
How quickly can they mobilize? That's the thing. I mean, they're scooting their boot, but they've got to cut through a full lane.
Timber has double Chakram to clear out the wave, so I guess that's going to be able to buy enough time for Shadow Demon to respawn, so LGD should be okay with this.
Well, look at this wave of super creeps coming in. EGM has his work cut out for himself. They will be able to bring back S4.
Yeah, Roshan is up though. That's going to be the next contention for both teams, whoever gets the Aegis and the cheese as well.
Well, Lotus looking for something. He's got himself about 3,600 gold, and he's got himself buyback in a minute, so definitely wants to save that up. Oh, this could be a nice big pick. He walks into aggressive. Can he solo this down? Aggressive thinks he's all alone, but little does he know. The rest of the teammates are going to be coming in. They will be able to bring in S4, doing some serious work to go, and the Syrian is not going to last for real PL. He's going to get himself back up to the high ground. There is going to be the Illuminate coming back on through, but not touching onto anyone. So for right now, Alliance forcing back all of LGD, but they are definitely not free to take this Roche at their leisure.
Well, the PL got another defusal. We've seen this just now from...
the Ricky with a double defusal,
yeah, from the Ricky. From Crit.
I guess that's the new...
Not enough charges, my friend. 16 charges.
Well, he already burns down that level 2 defusal to 0 charges, so unfortunately not able to get the most out of that anymore. Now there is going to be the Coddle coming back into Mana Leak doing some serious work. He's going to buy himself some time with the Yule Scepter and immediate blink away after that. So Alliance... Well, they're forcing everyone back.
I think LGD has to get a Lotus Orb on someone. They need to be able to remove the Mana Leak off the Timber, because he's the guy that's doing all the damage, most of the damage for LGD. If they control him in the team fights, it's really bad for LGD if he can't move around.
Oh, smoke back in. We're gonna have some smoke on smoke action here. Xiao Wei goes in. We'll get land the last one. We've BKB'd up. But look at the keep us in control. There is gonna be the Ember Spirit bouncing every which way. Admiral Bulldog in that bear form, trying to do what he can. There will be MMY coming back in. The Purge coming out onto the bear. So you really want to get this guy out there. Meanwhile, Loda manning up, going to two heroes. It might just be a little too much for him. He has to buy back. It's absolutely necessary, but it's going to be a big spam. He has to go in. Boat coming back out. We'll just crash onto there. Not going to even do a whole lot of stuff damage there. Now, Phantom Lancer does get down Loda, who immediately buys back. They should be able to get him back into the fight. Admiral Bulldog getting low as well. They'll be able to walk away. But meanwhile, EGM, once again, fighting the bullet for his team. Aggressive. Still up, able to leap back into the fight using that doppelganger. And oh, the bear going to be going down. 300 gold going the way of maybe. That means there's going to be Admiral Bulldog sitting there, kind of sad. No resummon. Oh god, this is going to be bad. If they are going to plop down, they're looking for the kill onto Loda. No buyback on him. This is going to be absolutely game, as they are not really able to hold without their Coddle or their Slark.
They just need to boost or travel in and just get the throne. 2 heroes against 5 heroes. I mean, that fight was just
I mean, you've got S4. He's going to be trying here. It's going to be a lot of work cut out for himself. How quickly can he actually get this done? There's a team back space from the Kunkka, but against 5 heroes, they're going to be going in. The Ancient is under attack. Maybe an MMY should be able to get the job done. Meanwhile, we're going to have S4 just really trying. He wants to do something, but unfortunately, I don't think the effort is going to be enough. The payout. Oh, the Fortify trying to buy themselves a little bit, but S4 gets the kill in the face. And the GG comes out as the Alliance Ancient does fall. So what happened there, Winter? It seemed like Alliance could take this late. At 58 minutes in, LGD still secured the win.
I think the main problem for Alliance was in the mid to late game, they took a lot of fights that they didn't need to take. I mean, I guess they felt like I mentioned during the mid game, oh, they were outgrading the opponents. They are feeling comfortable, and maybe got a little too confident, and they were, especially the bottom fight where they